Tonight, Anaheim, St. Louis Blues on the road. Won in Los Angeles yesterday, 5-2. Brett Hull is ready to go to work. Teemu Selanne kept the Anaheim Mighty Ducks in the playoff hunt single-handedly during the first 2 months of the season. Joined by fellow superstar Paul Kariya, it appeared the Ducks would be ensured a strong second half and a playoff spot. Then, Kariya went down, a concussion. Selanne suffered a muscle strain during the Olympics. If the Ducks are to have any hope of playing in the postseason, both players need to get healthy, and they need to do so fast. With only 24 games remaining in the season for the Mighty Ducks, they need points. They are 3 shy of a playoff spot right now. For the St. Louis Blues, a chance for home ice in the first round. They are 6 up in that department. Hello, everybody. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, Brian Engblom. National Hockey Night here in Anaheim tonight. For the Mighty Ducks, if they are to make the playoffs, Bill, they're going to have to do it the hard way. They're big twosome out again.
Yeah, you know you're in trouble when the big story surrounding your team is the fact that you've got your big guns out of the lineup. But for the Mighty Ducks tonight, the problem will be offense. You got Steve Ruchin as their top scorer tonight with 11 goals. He is the only goal scorer Anaheim has who is in double figures. You look at St. Louis, heck, they got 2 defensemen who have scored more than Steve Ruchin. You add Brett Hull to the mix, you add Pierre Turgeon, you add Jeff Courtnall. They've got enough firepower to win this hockey game. The big thing I think that Anaheim has to hope for is that St. Louis will be flat. They had a terrific game yesterday and a big game, and they won the game in Los Angeles, but it was a real emotional tilt. So if St. Louis is flat, Anaheim has a chance. If they're not flat, this game belongs to St. Louis.
St. Louis having its own problems. Grant Fuhr's out of there, a knee operation, probably out for 4 weeks, so they are hurting a bit in net right now, but they've got the #1 plus-minus player in the NHL. This is Chris Pronger at a +32 on the ice next. Third meeting these two teams have had. They have had one tie, 5-5, and Anaheim won the other one. Tonight, the St. Louis Blues in back-to-back game situations, winning 5-2 in Los Angeles yesterday. And one of the league's all-time leading goal scorers, in fact, 16th all-time, Brett Hull will be on the ice tonight.
And Brett Hull was one of the most vocal, complaining about the obstruction penalties not being called. Now they are being called. Time to dance, Hully. Time to dance.
And he'd like to have had one called earlier. Tomas Sandstrom got a piece of Hull last time these teams played and just about destroyed his hand. Cost Hull as he had to go out of the lineup for a number of games. Sandstrom back on the ice against him tonight, and we are underway. Great to have you with us here for National Hockey Night. The Blues in their road blue and the white and green of the Mighty Ducks. Kevin Kahn on the far side. Paul Kariya, Teemu Selanne, both out of this game along with Travis Green. Their entire first line is missing from this game for the Mighty Ducks. Not cleared out of the zone. Todd dumps that one in behind the net. Blair Atchison went over to get it. Atchison dumps it off. Steve Duchesne came up. Duchesne got it around to Pronger near side. Cleared out through center, not touched. And we will get our first whistle of the game. An icing call just underway here at Arrowhead Pond. Let's check in with Brian Engblom. Bri?
Gary, we all know that expression, stuff happens. Well, stuff was happening down here this morning, I'll tell you. This is a big porous piece of sort of cardboard stuff. They use big panels of this to cover up the ice when the ice is not in use. In rodeos and basketball games and all that kind of stuff. This was the ice at 10 o'clock this morning. Folks, that gray stuff is this cardboard that I just showed you. It was stuck absolutely everywhere. It was a complete mess. The crew here did an absolutely outstanding job that turned what looked like a disaster into just another day at the office. Tony Twist of the St. Louis Blues said to me, hey, leave it down there. It'll probably help me. Guys?
Won't speed your game up, but it will slow down the opposition. They did do a tremendous job here. Kevin Starkey and his crew working all day to get this ice ready. They weren't sure this morning they were going to be able to get this thing ready for the game. McGinnis able to clear it out to center. The Blues coming back offensively with Hull. Brett Hull trying to move around David Carper, got taken out, and it's moved to the far side. Sandstrom cleared it around. McGinnis stepped up to hold it in. Turgeon behind the net, and a penalty. And on the far side, the Mighty Ducks have another player down, and Steve Ruchin. Al McGinnis is going to the box in a hurry.
He got hit hard, and this might be the break that the Mighty Ducks needed to start this hockey game, because Ruchin looked like he was going to take Al McInnes out with a clean hit after McInnes dumped the puck back in. But watch what McInnes does. Cross check right in the face of Steve Ruchin. Heck, if they lose Ruchin, where are they? He's the only scorer in double figures in this hockey game for the Mighty Ducks. But depending on whether or not he was clipped or nicked or cut, this might be more than just a deuce. Yep, and it is a double minor penalty to Al McInnes.
So a 4-minute power play will come here as Al McGinnis gets called on the double minor high sticking.
Steve Ruchin was just doing what he has to do, is to take him. And it looked like, you know what? It looked like Ruchin was coming up with the stick. And I think Al McInnes just overreacted. But did he ever get him? And you got to know that the Mighty Ducks are sensitive to those kinds of hits after what happened to Paul Kariya.
Gary Suter got Kariya in the game here on February 1. Paul Kariya continues to suffer from the concussion. He is skating very little. In fact, having a hard time getting through a day without a headache. So at this point for Kariya, ouch. Power play for the Mighty Ducks at home. 2 for their last 40 over the last 10 games. That is not good. They are 25th, next to last overall in the league in the power play. St. Louis, the 7th best penalty killing team in the National Hockey League. But a big 4-minute advantage here for the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Dump back in deep. Kevin Todd missed it along the near side wall. Held in at the point momentarily. Deflected away. Conroy trying to clear it out. Second effort by Pronger, and they'll get it out of there. They'll get a whistle pinned up against the wall. Well, we talked about players missing. In net, we see a couple of names we don't see very often.
No, this is a real story for St. Louis. They're 4th in the conference, but Grant Fuhr has gone down with a knee injury, went under the knife. He is going to be out for a month. So Jamie McLennan, who did not play one game in the NHL last season, but his record is really nice this season here with St. Louis as a backup, he is going to have to be their man at a very crucial time of the season, at least for the next month.
He's 26 years old. His overall NHL record, 25, 31, and 11 for Jamie McLennan. Mikhail Stalenkov is in net. He is coming off a shutout of Edmonton at the other end for the Mighty Ducks as Guy Bear has not played that well. So Stalenkov, coming off a very fine Olympics, is getting the start again. Lalo Trenka back at the other end, dumped it to Todd. Power play underway here for the Mighty Ducks. Trenka trying to move it in. The rookie, 21 years old. Just his 25th National Hockey League game. Dmitry Mironov back there with him. Good work by Blair Atchedam to drive him back into the zone deep. 3 minutes remaining in the power play opportunity here for the Mighty Ducks. Brought in on the far side and sent in. Steve Ruchin looks as though he's okay. He's back out there on the power play, but the Mighty Ducks with a double minor create an offside.
You know, one of the things that Pierre Paget's guys are going to come up against is St. Louis really likes to prevent the setup. That means they're going to be very aggressive in the neutral zone. Here come the Ducks. They're going to wind it back up and try to get it through the neutral zone. Now, St. Louis, like most teams, really try to keep the play on one side. So they force it back. And once the play comes up, watch them try to move it over to the one side. Well, they didn't get it that time. They tried to cut it in half, and it just didn't work.
St. Louis able to clear that one out the length of the ice. Scott Pellerin up. Mironov turned and lost it. Pellerin short-handed for St. Louis in the corner. Gets chased on the far side. Delay knocked the puck away. Played by Young. Young gets it out through center, and the Ducks go back the other way. Anaheim 2:36 remaining on the power play. Ruchin dump shot. Save made by McLennan. Good opportunity on the Ruchin feed down low. Scott Young banged away on the far side. Jim Campbell couldn't get it out of there. Ruchin had it in the corner. Ruchin able to hold it in. Mighty Ducks will get that power play set up. Ruchin backs it up to the point. Power play here. Soleil leaves it. Mironov shot deflected wide. Did not end up on net. Back to the point. Soleil shot. That deflected to the near side again. And this one will be cleared out by Bergevin.
But this is what Anaheim's coaching staff wants. They want them to fire away. And they really think that they will shoot more on the power play without Teemu Selanne and Paul Kariya in the lineup, because the tendency is always to make that last pass to one of your big stars. They're not there.
They need to just gun and hope for rebounds more than anything else. Bergevin got that one back out into the middle. The Blues continue to be short-handed here. Got the chance. Turcotte in. Winds up shot. Save made by Stalenkov. Darren Turcotte in a 2-on-1 breakaway, and Stalenkov comes away with a save.
A good save as well. Boy, did he show faith in his defenseman, because he faced Darren Turcotte squarely and just outweighted him. Mikhail Stalenkov, for a backup goalie that has only gotten into 16 games on a team that is 9 games under 500, he's done one heck of a job. I mean, he's picked up 17 points for them. Here's the pass over to the side to Turcotte. Now, at this point, Stalenkov is saying, okay, my defenseman's got the pass. I am strictly going to focus on the shooter. Obviously, if Turcotte gets the puck through to his teammate, Stalenkov's got a problem. but that's what faith is all about.
Gotta believe. Steve Duchesne out here. Stalenkov with a face-off to his right. On the draw, Craig Conroy. One back in behind the net. Jason Marshall for the Mighty Ducks. Power play down to a minute 39 now. Remember, this is a double minor power play opportunity as Al McGinnis continues to sit in the box, and the double minor picked up on the high sticking. Shots are 2-1 in favor of St. Louis. The Ducks have only one shot on goal. Stalenkov moving it in behind the net. Brett Hull up in the check, centering pass. Nobody there, but a good play by Hull. And St. Louis regains possession. Mike Bergevin back in his own end. They'll play tic-tac here to kill it off, and Duchesne will send it up. St. Louis Blues penalty killers fighting this one off rather easily to this point against the Ducks. Only a minute left on this power play now for Anaheim. One of these where if you don't score early on, where you've had the 4-minute power play, advantage momentum really goes to the other team, in this case St. Louis. Todd brings it in, trying to drop it off. Great block made by Bergevin. Cleared out of the zone. Turcotte. Turcotte coming in a 2-on-1 opportunity. Turcotte drop shot right off the end of the stick and wide. Great chance, Steve Duchesne, but Duchesne looked like he hit that off the heel of the stick. Never got anything on it. Duchesne staying out here after taking the chance. Down low, deflected to the near side. Matt Cullen came over to get it. Held in by Mironov. Down low to Young. Young drops it back inside for Cullen. Cullen turning. Down to 20 left on this power play, and they lose control of the puck. Great job by the penalty killers. Craig Conroy. Mironov blocked it. Both teams trying to get changes. Mironov with Young in front of him. Dropped it back. Deflected up in the air by Chris McAlpine. Cleared up and out of the zone. And time running down. 5 left on the advantage. Roots and Young, the tip pass. Sandstrom shot. Saved by McLennan. Tomas Sandstrom cannot buy a goal for the Mighty Ducks, and he couldn't do it there. He just can't put one to the back of the net.
Well, the time is now. I mean, 27 games without a goal. If he's ever going to get out of the slump to help the team, it's got to happen soon, especially with Korea and Solani gone.
Well, power play's over. McAlpine, the shot, his own rebound. Save made by Stalenkov. So the 4-minute power play opportunity for the Mighty Ducks goes by the boards. They do not convert and have only 2 shots up on the board to show for that opportunity. Good job again by the penalty killers of St. Louis. Both teams will change it up. Bouncing puck, McLennan will play it to the side and dumps it off in behind the net. Jamie Rivers, the rookie, 22 years old, will play that one out as the Blues complete their line change. Near side to Jeff Courtnall. Courtnall in his 999th game here tonight. Campbell puts the hit on the far side. Played there by Jeremy Stevenson, another rookie for the Mighty Ducks. Not out of the zone. Along the near side, Rivers trying to hold it in. Did once, but not twice. The Boutelier cleared it out of there. It'll be played back deeper. Rivers, again, line change for St. Louis. Courtnall back in the middle, their leading scorer. Courtnall's having a great season. 24 goals, 23 assists. Stalenkov knocks that one away. Al McGinnis back out on the ice, knocks the puck down. And since the Olympic break and the calling of the obstruction penalty, these games are now running for much longer periods of time without whistles. We have noted that here in the first week back, and it's happening here again tonight.
Well, Anaheim doesn't have much firepower, but Jamie McLennan moments ago was forced to make a save. Not spectacular, but solid.
Good day and welcome to my brother's recurring dream, eh? Every night he drags me along. Bob, look! Beervana! It's always the same routine.
Hey, big guy, what's it take to get a beer around here, eh?
Same lies.
I didn't do it.
You did it! Hey, how'd you get in here?
Molson Golden, the best there is.
And the same ending. I just had a beer-ja vu, eh?
Net. It will be up to him to shut him down.
A look from our U.S. Army goal cam at the chance Tomas Sandstrom had moments ago. And the thing about Jamie McLennan, I mean, he will not look spectacular. He will not make the giant, fantastic save, but he will make the stop. I mean, he's a guy that plays within himself and is very controlled. This team does not feel worried at all about the fact that Grant Fuhrer is not in the lineup.
That's saying a lot when you're talking about a guy with all those wins, and there's why. McLennan on Young, and the rebound. Save made again by McLennan. Wraparound chance for Richard Park. Couple of early big saves in this game so far for Jamie McLennan, the 26-year-old netminder, coming off a good game in L.A. Backed up on the far side near Severin. Severin cleared it around the near side boards. Mighty Ducks having trouble getting out of the zone here. Again dumped into the corner. Severin. No score here in the first period. Shots 5-4 in favor of the Blues. They want to change it up. It'll be sent in wide of the net. Good play by Prong to get up there. Chris Pronger, the 23-year-old, got to it. Will get a whistle. Right back. National Hockey Night after this. Walt Disney Company and a big hockey fan. His youngsters is heavily involved in youth hockey. From the point, shot save made by Stolenkov. Pronger the opportunity. Cleared back out near side. Richard Park will dump it in. McLennan plays it high off the glass on the far side. Ruchin came over to help. No score here. Warren Reichel working behind the net. Reichel passed to him, cut off. Blues up the near side looking to clear. Brett Hull will flip it out of there. Hull coming into this game expected obviously to score a lot of goals for them. His scoring's been down a bit this season along with injuries. He's got 20 goals and will get another penalty, another sticking. Reichel took this one to the head at the far end. And looks like Chase. Reichel was behind the play and caught the shot here. They are going to send Craig Conroy out.
Now guys were coming and going. There was a line change going on. Conroy looked like he was just trying to swat at Reichel's stick. Missed. That's exactly what happened. He was trying to lift his stick. I would say that more times than any other instance, that's how players get clipped. You go to flick their stick up in the air by putting yours under it. Guy moves his, and your stick comes up and gets nothing but flesh. Ouch.
Reichel heads over. Little cut on the forehead. High sticking on Conroy. Just stay minor at 7:52. Not a double minor. So a power play opportunity again here for the Ducks. Look at that on that first one with that advantage. They hardly got the puck into the attack zone. Only 50 seconds of the 4 minutes. The face-off from outside the line. Turcotte off the draw. It'll be one deep, and the Ducks will start from behind their own net. Face-off won by Steve Ruchin. Ruchin 5 goals, 7 assists over the last 10 games, trying to pick up some of that scoring drought without the big twosome in there. Young clears it into the zone. Delaney out of there, the abdominal muscle strain. Maria still struggling, of course, with a concussion. Played around the net, far side by Al McGinnis, and it rolls free. Ducks will have to get back on side. St. Louis will change up on their penalty killers. Anaheim 4 for 11 against St. Louis on the power play in the 3 games they've now played this season. A 5-5 tie and a 2-0 win by the Ducks in the other 2. Short-handed, just ripped wide. Dimitra. Short-handed chance for the St. Louis Blues. Scott Young comes the other way. Young will head to the center on the dump pass to Trinka near side. They lost it again.
Yeah, they're getting killed with turnovers at the blue line, and it almost looks like St. Louis has the power.
Atchinen the shot save made again. Blair Atchinen taking the shot, and St. Louis again will change it up. The Ducks are not getting in the zone and getting it set up at all. Scott Pellerin on the far side. Hole in the middle, couldn't get it by the Blues. Deflected shot back in front will be brought out of the zone. Nice play by Steve Duchesne. Duchesne, one of the leading defensive scorers in the National Hockey League, runs that one up ice. He is tied for second among defensemen starting today's play. Duchesne's having a great year. Dumped off far side to see the Blues just struggling mightily. Duchesne again. Duchesne brings it in short-handed. Pellerin, save made. Pellerin the follow-up. Rebound shot over the net by Dimitra.
Now, the Ducks have to play this power play because they don't have the skill level to do anything other than this. They have to play it like it's even strength. To get to the blue, there it is. Dump it in. Now get in and chase it. Don't try to beat anybody at the blue line. They've turned it over and created scoring chances for St. Louis every time they tried to carry.
Pronger could not clear it out. Still a power play. Trinka's shot was blocked out deep. Played there again by Duchesne. He needs to get off the ice and ends up sending the puck into the bench. 2 seconds left on the Blues penalty.
Well, Pierre Pagé can look up and down his bench all he wants. There's nothing that's going to pop out at him as a likely candidate, a guy that can get out there and score pretty quickly, because these guys are missing. Teemu Selanne, Paul Kariya, and the newly acquired Travis Green from the New York Islanders combined for 73 goals. Look at the number of goals that are in the lineup for the rest of the team tonight. 63 for everybody else.
So what made their victory over Edmonton on Friday 4-0 so amazing is that Pierre Pagé's club went out there with a roster that had accounted for just 63 goals and still came away with a shutout. You've got people like Richard Park, who have just recently been called up from the minors. Kevin Todd had been playing at the minor league level at Long Beach here. These guys have all been called back now and asked to fill in for the regulars.
You know, that game might have been misleading in Edmonton, because Pierre Pagé said just moments before this game began, their team, the Ducks, had one 5-on-5 scoring chance that whole game.
Park dumped that one in. The penalty killing unit of the Mighty Ducks shut Edmonton down in 13 power play chances in that game. A team record. And a whistle. That's going to be on the offside, I think. Maybe a penalty here. Hang on. It is a penalty called as Mick Magoo will pick Richard Park of Anaheim up. He'll go to the penalty box, and the St. Louis Blues are going to get their first power play opportunity of the game.
Sure looked like it was at least an interference call. I think Brett Hull was the guy that was trying to make it. Here he comes. Richard Park is trying to track him down. That's David Karp. See the hook coming from behind? That was Richard Park. The little hook on the right arm, and that's as tight as the refs are calling it right now. So little by little, the players are getting a brand new education at a real crucial time of the hockey season, and they better learn quick.
Interference at 10:17. Park is out of their first power play game of the game for St. Louis. Blues are 0 for 6 against Anaheim this year in the power play. Hull, McGinnis working it out, tick-tackle on the blue. Al McGinnis will not be able to handle that one, and he'll have to chase it down. Huge win for St. Louis against Los Angeles yesterday, 5-2. They went 3 for 8 on the power play in that game. The power play had been struggling a bit. Yesterday, they picked that play up. They are led on the power play, of course, with the likes of Brett Hull, who's got 8 power play goals, leading the team in that department. They get back on side. Blues with the advantage. Joe Murphy back in play. Al McGinnis drops it down low. Hull in the high slot where he likes to hang out. And the Mighty Ducks will sag back in to try and cover him down low. Steve Duchesne back to McGinnis. Bounces away from him. Drury giving chase. Knocks McGinnis off the puck and gets it. Turgeon reaching in, trying to pull it away. Can't. And he clears it. Good play by Ted Drury. Drury got it up ice. Both teams will change it up on the fly. St. Louis will start in their own end. No score in this game. 8:40 left to go first period. Center. Shot Campbell deflected out deep. It'll roll to the point. Held in by Pronger. Near side. Ducks trying to clear again. Twice they do not get it out. Turnaround shot is deflected into the corner off Courtnall stick. Still time on the power play. 44 seconds remaining. Pronger snuck in. But the aerial pass overhead. 2-on-1 opportunity. Brought back up. Looking. Young never got to him. Young was open on the far side. But Steve Ruchin's pass was deflected, and a penalty. A slashing call coming on the Blues. Courtnall will go. That will cost St. Louis 33 seconds worth of power play time.
And in a special teams battle, you know the advantages to St. Louis. Their stats really back that up, and that is even with Solani and Korea in the lineup. But without the big guns for Anaheim, as long as St. Louis can avoid taking dumb penalties and stay on the power play and make this kind of a special teams advantage for themselves, they're going to win this hockey game. Al McInnes, number 2, was going to the bench moments ago, and when he smashed his stick down, he was trying to get somebody out of the way.
He was not happy about something and injured his own player on a slash over there. Whoever was, usually that's the backup goaltender doing the work on one end over there. I'm not sure who that was who he slashed, but it was his own teammate.
What's up with that? I mean,
well, Al McGinnis went to the locker room, so obviously he was in some pain going over, and out of the frustration, hacked away trying to bang the dasher.
I think what he was trying to do is signal, get the door open. I need to get off.
He signaled. Good save made. McLennan again as it went wide. Opportunity out there by Kevin Todd. Cleared back out the center. Pronger the shot. He scores! Ripped that one into the upper corner. And I don't think Stolenkov ever saw that until it had gone by. And it is a 1-0 lead for the St. Louis Blues as Chris Pronger rips one.
Boy, what a shot. And I'm not talking about the velocity because this wasn't a rocket shot, but it was absolutely in the corner. Stolenkov, for a tall guy, kind of crouches quite a bit, likes to see where the shot's coming from. Obviously, when he's screened, we'll see from this angle whether or not he was screened. Oh, yeah, completely. Stolenkov was down in a bit of a crouch, but that barely went over his arm and up into the corner. Terrific shot by Pronger, but there was a pretty good screen on that was being made by David Karp, number 33, his own player. You know, given the time, the defenseman, if he sees the big windup for a slap shot, will move out of the way. Carpet didn't have a chance to move because Pronger made a real good decision. Just let it rip quick.
So Chris Pronger puts it home, and the 23-year-old captain of the St. Louis Blues gives them the 1-0 lead. That goal comes in a 4-on-4 situation. Blues are going to have a power play in 8 seconds. Oh! Whoa, had to pull that one out from behind his ears. Stolenkov on the blast by Brett Hull as he came across the line. Held in by Sean Pronger. We got brothers in this game, remember. The Mighty Ducks have Sean Pronger, Chris Pronger, out there for the St. Louis Blues, who just scored that goal. So the Blues Pronger's ahead so far in this game. Park plays it behind the net. Power play now for the Mighty Ducks. A minute 11 on the St. Louis Blues penalty on that slashing call picked up by Courtnall at 11:44. And a chance to get it tied up. Ted Drury working the power play. Dumped in front. Cleared out. Mironov had to go over his stick.
That goal by St. Louis by one of their defensemen, Pronger, gives them 40 goals from their defense this season. #1 in the NHL. Remember, we've already pointed out that the entire Anaheim lineup has 63 goals. St. Louis's defense has 40.
What a huge help for a team when you have your defensemen scoring the way they have done so this year for St. Louis. Penalty killers going back to work here. Scott Pellerin sends that one in. Stolenkov holds it up. Mironov back in behind the net. And Mironov gets it in the middle. Yet another power play here for the Mighty Ducks, but they've not been able to do anything with it. In fact, St. Louis has had the advantage when they've been down a man. McAlpine shooting that one up and over the glass. Blues out shooting the Ducks 10-5, and they have the 1-0 lead. We've talked about Steve Duchesne here already in this game. Take a look at our Molson League leaderboard. 10-plus goals in consecutive seasons. Duchesne has done that 12 times. Only Ray Bourque and Paul Coffey are ahead of him all time in that 10-plus goals consecutive year department.
Steve Duchesne has had 4 20-goal seasons. He's averaged 17 goals a year for the last 11 years in the NHL. That's real reliable and real consistent. And to me, a big reason the St. Louis Blues are 4th place in their conference when nobody really picked them that high.
Only 13 defensemen have scored 200 goals in NHL history. In the last game, Duchesne got his 200 to be the 13th. Power play still underway here for the Ducks. Kevin Todd. Todd moving in. St. Louis playing back here, not challenging the puck. Pronger in the intercept. And another penalty coming up. Reichel for the 2nd time is down on the ice after being hit in this game, and a complaint lodged by Craig Conroy about it, but it's not going to do any good. 6:15 left, first period. The Blues leading the Ducks 1-0. 45.
And this was a pretty good call. Warren Reichel was standing in front, and Conroy came in and gave him a pretty good shoulder right between the shoulder blades. And I think Reichel might have been leaning forward because he was trying to keep his toes out of the crease anyway, so it made it look worse than it was.
Off balance.
Yep, and St. Louis, now that they're on the kill, to me, has Anaheim right where they want them.
They're down a man. Perfect. Off the near side, Tomas Sandstrom. 1 goal picked up in this game. Pronger from Conroy at 11:58. St. Louis on top. This is the 5th power play of the game already for the Ducks. Ruchin shot. 1 save, McLennan. Rebound. Batted away by Pronger. Held onto by Scott Young. Power play unit of the Ducks has been very active here, but not successfully. They've played more defense than offense so far. Sandstrom gave chase. Bergevin tried to bat it away. Tomas Sandstrom knocked it down. 2 goals in 43 games for Tomas Sandstrom. None in the last 27. Mironov dumped it back in behind the net. Bergevin played it around. Not out yet. Batted off the wall. Ruchin again trying to hold it in. Did. Young's in front. Centering pass in the slot. Nobody there. Mironov picks it up. Mironov winds once, twice, passed off. And a penalty coming down low. On the blue, there's the whistle. Right in front of McLennan, there'll be another interference call to be picked up here. As again, these obstruction calls coming fast and furious. Larry Robinson yesterday, after his team lost to St. Louis 5-2, said in no uncertain terms he does not like the way this is going. Robinson said, we've got a bunch of whiners in the National Hockey League, all because of a bunch of the prima donnas in this freaking league don't want to get touched. They're whining because they can't get their 60 goals. As a result, we're getting all these obstruction calls.
Gosh, we just happened to have Brett Hull in this shot. Do you think there's any chance Larry was talking about Brett? Because Brett was the most vocal. But you know what? Larry doesn't have a 60-goal scorer.
And he's a defenseman.
He's a former defenseman, now coaching the LA Kings. Be interesting to see if he had 2 60-goal scorers, if he'd be saying that.
Tomas Sandstrom, the interference call at 14-14. Turgeon in the middle, but the pass is intercepted. It's another 4-on-4 situation, and that will be covered up by Stolenkov.
Now, most coaches and most hockey people that we've spoken to, and obviously most broadcasters, most fans, they want some action back in the game. So they want the obstructions called. Pierre Pagé is one of those. He's got Teemu Selanne and Paul Kariya when they're healthy. This is what Pierre Pagé said on obstruction. We've learned so many bad habits the last few years. We think it's part of the game, and it's not part of the game. And he's talking about obstruction. But that first sentence, we've learned so many bad habits the last few years, is what players are now having to break themselves of, and why we're seeing so many penalties.
And it has indeed changed it, as the power play chances as a result of obstruction calls are up. Power play opportunities up and goals up. That came outside the line, Bergevin, and they'll whistle this one, and a face-off will come out at center. Still a 4-on-4 for another 44 seconds. The whole idea with these obstruction calls that players like Brett Hull will be freed up, play more offense, and see their skills. Back to Anaheim, National Hockey Night.
Good day, eh? As you can see, me and my brother has a taste for real adventure, eh? Oh no, we lost one! What an idiot! Good cheer! Whoa! Here! No way! You're just trying to slow me down! I got it!
Injuries certainly this time of year not unusual to see injuries piling up as the season comes into the last 25 or fewer games. But you hate to see guys going down. Oh, look at this! He scored! Brett Hull will be credited with that goal. Stolenkov couldn't believe it. His own teammate was trying to take the puck in behind the net.
I think it was Jason Marshall that looked like he was trying to maneuver behind. Did he just try a pass in front that Brett Hull got his stick on?
I think Hull just deflected an attempt to get the puck behind the net.
Well, Brett's liking it. It won't go down on his highlight reel as one of his all-time flashiest.
He will see it at the Christmas party, however.
And he'll take it right now, too, especially because it gives St. Louis a 2-0 lead. Here's Jason Marshall backing up, backing up. No, he tried to pass right through. And Brett Hull, did he deflect it?
Well, he put his arms up. He wants the goal.
Well, he'll hit it because he was the closest St. Louis Blues to it. But Marshall tried to pass right through the doorstep of Stolenkov, and Stolenkov obviously had zero time to react.
That's the kind of play that'll get you sent down tomorrow morning. Brought back in on the left side by Sean Pronger. They're back up to the point. Still a 4-on-4 now as the Blues have scored both their goals in 4-on-4 situations. Played back in behind the net. Bergevin came back to get it for the Blues. 4-on-4 for another 4 seconds. Then the Blues are going to have a power play, so they trying to remain under control here to start it out, and they will. Power play opportunity. They come back to the middle of the penalty box. Conroy. It'll be sent in, not touched, and that will be an icing call. Second power play of the game now for the St. Louis Blues. Brett Hull, 21st of the year at 15-12, is 548. Moves him into a tie for 15th all-time with Michel Goulet. So he keeps moving up the list of goal scorers in the NHL. Marshall will not want to see that replay ever.
Nope. He's in a pretty safe organization to avoid being sent down, though. The lack of depth on defense here in Anaheim can keep guys in the lineup. And he's a good soldier, too. Jason Marshall is a real tough player to play against. Plays hard, gives you everything he's got every game. That's just one of those ones where you want to crawl into a hole and hide for about 2 days.
Yep. That's when you wish they hadn't got the ice fixed here today. Back in behind the net.
Are you kidding? It might have bounced in off a piece of cardboard or something if they hadn't.
11-6 the shots in favor of the Blues, and St. Louis has got the 2-0 lead. That'll be taken by Pronger at the other end. Chris Pronger coming back to get it. Pronger's picked up the other goal in this game. Hull, of course, gets his unassisted at 15-12. As we said, even if he didn't touch the puck, when an opposition player puts the puck into his own net, the opposing player closest to it gets credit for the goal, and that was Hull. And now power play opportunity here. 4 seconds left on it for St. Louis. Courtnall looking to dump it out in front. Pronger batted it down out of the air. Apparently not above the shoulder with it, so no whistle. Back to 5-on-5. McLennan clears that around the near side, not out. Tip pass into the middle. Matt Cullen had it blocked. Comes back to Courtnall. Courtnall on the near side will send it in. St. Louis Blues will change it up. Over to get it, Kevin Todd. Todd, 17 games at Long Beach, their minor league team. Kevin was expected to be one of their important starters here for the Mighty Ducks this season. It has not worked out that way for the veteran Todd. Back out through center. It'll be controlled there by Brent Severin. Batted away from him. Severin came back to get it. Again deflected. Held onto by Chase. Kelly Chase. Brought back to David Carpa. Carpa played it up the far side for Todd. Todd dumped it back into the middle. Deflected again. Shot back through center. Ducks get back on side. Todd shot. That one goes wide. Chase got a piece of that. In the corner, Kevin Todd is on rebound off that shot. Kelly Chase tipped it away. Chase will chase down. Up along the near side boards. Tomas got it out of there on the attempted block. Tipped back into the zone by Tony Twist. And that one will go to the Ducks. Both teams making line changes here with 2:07 left to go in the period. Swung back in behind the net. McLennan back. Damon McLennan has stopped all 6 shots of the Mighty Ducks in this game. Turgeon cleared that one out. Christian Soleil comes back to get it. Again, the line change being completed here. Not a lot of people on the ice. Huda dropped it off. Soleil moves it in. Soleil looking. And it's center ice. A fight about ready to break out. Linesman moves in and separates them. Doug Huda cleared it in. A penalty is coming nevertheless. It's going to be on St. Louis. Well, 2 players tied up at center ice while the play was going on. Mick Magoo had the arm up for the call. The players looked like they were going to fight but separated.
Well, first it was Kelly Chase and Brett Severin from Anaheim, and then big Tony Twist came in. There he is. When I say big, I mean huge big. You don't want to tangle with this guy, and then he came in to kind of take Kelly Chase's place against Severin, but nothing got started. So the last goal that was scored was a giveaway from the Anaheim defenseman Jason Marshall trying to pass to his defense partner. And we'll call this wrong option because we'll see what kind of options there were for Jason Marshall. Right, the puck will go back over here to Marshall. We'll let it roll until Marshall gets it because Marshall's the guy that's going to make the bad play. All right, if we stop right here for a second, you can see Marshall passed it in front. Had he banked it off the boards, that was one option. What about up here? He's got a guy there, so he's got 2 options. He went for the wrong one, which was right in front. Really the worst option of all 3 that he had. The safe play would be the bank pass behind the net, or he could have moved it up to his winger on the boards.
Brett Hull will take it and gets credit for the goal and gives him a 2-0 lead. Pierre Turgeon, the hooking call at 18:20 is out of there. Power play number 6 now coming for the Mighty Ducks. Joe Quenneville's team trying to win 2 in a row in 2 consecutive days. They're going to have to bring the step ladder out here as the plexiglass a problem over on the far side. The ever observant hockey fans going, hey, you might want to, what do you think? You want to do something with this here? Take care of this? Look at this. Not supposed to be like that. Our new Dodge intermission report upcoming in a minute 40. Our highlights will be coming from the Stars Blackhawks game. Washington Capitals continue their struggle, and our congratulations, Mark Messier becomes the 4th player to reach the 1,600 point mark. Congratulations to Mark.
Absolutely. The all-time greats in every department. Well, remember earlier in this period, we're here in the first period in Anaheim. Earlier in the period, Al McInnes looked like he was anxious to get off the ice, and for some reason, he lowered the boom with his stick.
On that, didn't look like it. They give the goal to Cullen. He'll get it. Matt Cullen picks up the goal, and it is a 2-1 lead, and a whistle and another penalty coming up. This is going to be another interference call in this game. Mick Magoo makes the call, and it'll be a power play for the St. Louis Blues. Le Boutelier heads to the penalty box. Oh, the penalties continue to pile up. We got a month of Sundays of National Hockey Night for you. Next Sunday, 8 o'clock, it will be our 1,000th broadcast of an NHL game on both the mothership ESPN and on the Deuce. We'll celebrate with a nationwide game. It'll be seen in all markets, including Pittsburgh and Philadelphia next Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Jaromir Jagr and the Flyers, Leclerc, Lindros, Francis among the leading scorers in the National Hockey League. You'll see the leader. You'll see Leclerc, who's 4th, and the guys tied for 6th. Hope you'll join us next Sunday night. Interference. Le Boutelier out of there at 18:52. The goal was picked up by Cullen, his 3rd of the year at 18:39. Ruchin, Mironov got the assists on it. Now another power play for the St. Louis Blues. So the Blues with the advantage here with only 56 seconds left to go in the period. Courtnall overskated. Duck shorthanded. Ruchin cleared it up for Young. Scott Young Young moves it in. Young got 2 assists in the last game for the Ducks on Friday against Anaheim. Shot back in behind the net, and that's where the St. Louis Blues will start off ice. Pronger, who has picked up one of the goals here, will lead the charge. 11:58 of this period. Pronger got goal number 1. 15-12. Hull was credited with his 21st. Cullen back with a goal for the Ducks at 18:39, and just shy of the net. Stolenkov reaching out to knock that away as Turgeon was down low. Here's Cullen again. Matt Cullen, a rookie, will send that into the corner. 16 seconds left to go in the period. Jamie McLennan holds it up. Blues start up. Pronger moves it up for Turgeon. Turgeon has Courtnall in the middle. Open for a moment. Draws it back. Couldn't get the shot, though. And Mironov swings it out. And that will do it here in the period. As the first period ends, the St. Louis Blues have the 2-1 lead over the Ducks. With that power play goal picked up by Cullen, a very important goal in the last 2 minutes of this period to give them an opportunity to get back into this game. The shots on, the Blues 11 and the Ducks 7. Lots of other NHL games. Lyndon.
Behind the scenes in the St. Louis locker room, I was checking into the situation about Turcotte in his hand. We saw Al MacInnis inadvertently hit his own player with the stick, and it was just a terrible situation. Al feels so bad he has not yet returned to the game. He went into the locker room right afterwards to be with Turcotte, has not come back yet. Very seriously damaged fingers. We don't know to what extent yet. Gary?
Oh, Al MacInnis so upset he's physically sick down there. The Ducks trying to get it tied up, and it's Hull trying to go the other way and denied. Mikhail Stolenkov, as Brett Hull, looking for his second goal, found the loose puck at center ice and took it all the way into the crease, but Mikhail Stolenkov there to deny him.
Yeah, and if you ever saw Brett Hull's stick up close, you'd know why his only option is to cut to his forehand. So this is where Brett Hull would want to be on his backhand. His stick is almost like a 9-iron. He can't get much of a backhand shot away, so you can see he was trying to pull it out to the forehand. Good play by Dmitry Mironov to force him at least wide enough that Stolenkov could get set for him right there.
Power play opportunity underway here. 25 seconds left on the penalty to the Ducks, so the Blues are on their 3rd power play of the game. 9 power plays so far in this game. Pronger will have to give chase to the other end. 1 for 6 for Anaheim, 0 for 2 for St. Louis, and they've got 9 seconds left on this, their 3rd chance of the game. Pronger starts it up ice, dumped it back to Hull. Turgeon out there in this line up front on the power play. Duchesne sends it in. Turgeon back, intended for Hull, deflected away near side. Penalty is over, and the Ducks have killed that one off. Turgeon kicked it up to Hull. 5-on-5 situation now, and that'll come back out to center. Pronger has picked up the first goal of this game. Hull made it 2-0. And Matt Cullen for the Ducks with a power play goal to make it 2-1 to bring the Ducks back. Brought back in by Courtnall. Courtnall looking into the middle. Dumped it, goes wide, deflected off into the corner. Doug Huda gives chase. Huda cleared that one out of the zone, taken away by Courtnall. And that's centered loose again. Play back, Soleil will move it in. His open shot, that one ripped wide, way up over the glass. And out of play. For the Mighty Ducks, without both Teemu Selanne and Paul Kariya. Ironically, February 1, the game in which he was injured. We talked to Paul Kariya before the game. Do you need protection?
No, I don't think so. You know, I think, you know, everyone knows I'm not going to drop the gloves out there, and, you know, Teemu's the same way. I don't think I've had a fight in my life, but in physical play, I'm not going to back down.
Well, Paul Kariya is scheduled to see a doctor again tomorrow about his concussion. The symptoms have still not gone away. The longer you go without the symptoms going away, the longer the recovery period. It looks now as if there's a good chance Paul Kariya will be out for at least another month.
He has talked to Pat LaFontaine. Great save made on the shot. Jamie McLennan knocked that one away, and the opportunity for Stevenson. Pat LaFontaine, of course, missing a year of hockey with a concussion that threatened his career, has come back this year to play really well for the Rangers. Centering pass block, played back up, not out of the zone, now kicked away to center. And Paul Kariya took time last week to talk with LaFontaine just to get a better feel for, you know, what is this that I'm dealing with. As Kariya's finding, just going through the day without getting headaches and feeling nauseous, never mind skating or playing hockey. He's got to get through that first, and that's where he is right now. Back to center it comes. Craig Conroy. Conroy had it deflected back. Bergevin's got it. Ducks change up here on the fly. Poked away at center. Still free. Played back up. Boutillier got it out of there, and that'll be sent in wide. Played back in behind the net. Doug Huda came back to get it. Huda, one of the newly acquired Mighty Ducks, and the big deal that they swung during the Olympic break. Losing some muscle with it, trying to acquire some offense and some veterans for it. Turgeon sent it back into the middle. Pass by Hull is deflected up in the air. Murphy could not handle. Joe Murphy back in. It is his second game back out 42 games with a left wrist injury. Murphy's back. Played in the last game for them, and there he is tonight. Turgeon off Murphy's pass. It's behind him, and it's in. The St. Louis Blues add another to it, and they take a 3-1 lead. I'm not sure whether that went in off Turgeon's original shot or whether Murphy reached in going by the net and gave it the final little poke. We'll have to wait and see.
It looked for a second as if it was just lying there, and whoever could get to it first was either going to clear it if you were a Duck player or you're going to score if it was St. Louis. Pierre Turgeon, great hands and a nice little move there on Doug Huda and a pass to Joe Murphy, then back double coverage for a second on Joe Murphy, and that allowed Pierre Turgeon to get a shot away. Well, still can't tell from that angle. We see two guys went there. Pierre Turgeon got it off the skate and then was able to slip it up and towards Stalenkov. Boy, still can't tell. We know it's 3-1, but we don't know how it happened.
We'll wait for the call. That's going to be touched up on the icing call. The St. Louis Blues add to it early, their third goal on 13 shots in this game, and they've got the 3-1 lead.
But we're not out of angles yet. We've got goal cam. Stalenkov had it go right between his pads, and it needed no help after all.
Hello.
How's your butt ice? Doobie, doobie.
That's the third one tonight.
It's okay. The police are tracing the call. Hello.
This is the police. Those calls are coming from inside the house. Repeat, those calls are coming from inside the house.
Drink Bud Ice, but beware the Penguins.
Sir?
Turgeon credited with the goal. Murphy did not have to help that one around, but he certainly made a nice setup pass. And the St. Louis Blues have the 3-1 lead in this game. Face-off coming to the left side of McLennan. Played back in behind the net by Bergevin. Dumped back out for Greg Conroy. Conroy had it blocked. Comes to center. So the Mighty Ducks again are down by 2 in this game. Teams are back to 5-on-5. Off the boards. Up again out of the zone. Jason Marshall helped to clear that one out of there. Duchesne giving chase. Flicked away to center to Conroy. Conroy backed it up. St. Louis Blues. These back-to-back games. Scott Pellerin moves it in. Blues playing yesterday, winning in L.A. A chance to have a great West Coast swing here after the Olympic break. They have not lost a game 2 in back-to-back games this year. They are 7-0-3 in the second game of back-to-back games. That is very unusual.
Almost all of those games, too, involve travel from one night to the next. I mean, this is a team that is obviously in great shape.
Turgeon credited with the goal as 11th. Murphy got the assist at 3:04 to give St. Louis the 3-1 lead. Now the Ducks need to look for some firepower help out there. Bergevin blocked it. Played off by Chris McAlpine and out of the zone. This will be an icing call on St. Louis on the touch-up behind the net. The games in the National Hockey League completed. One still underway, and we'll keep you posted on the scores of those games on our Bud Ice scoreboard. Senators on top in that one in the second period now against the Flames. Coming down to the final 20-plus games of the season for these teams, so a lot of clubs that are battling mightily for these final playoff spots, and as usual in the NHL, it's a real chase to get there.
Well, we set this game up as a David versus Goliath. Goliath being the St. Louis Blues. Well, they're getting whittled down and chiseled down to a normal-sized human right now because Darren Turcotte will not come back. We think he's got something close to a crushed hand because Al McInnes hit him accidentally. McInnes is physically ill because he actually accidentally hurt his guy. And Blair Atchingham, we understand, has dislocated a finger. So 3 players that started as healthy St. Louis Blues are not here. And Al McInnes is a key guy. This game is now close to an even playing field, except for the score. St. Louis has the lead 3-1.
And Grant Fuhr, of course, missing right from the get-go with that knee injury that he had operated on. Shot black Mironov. Mironov, that one is wide of the net. Played by Young in behind. Scott Young looking to center. Had it blocked. Young once, twice. Off the near side point, and Turgeon trying to clear, and a whistle behind the play. Oh, we get a butt ending signal given by Mick Magoo. Let's see if he stays with that. Nope, just a roughing call. A roughing call, and the St. Louis Blues will have Pronger going to the box, and they'll be short-handed, and the Ducks will get yet another power play chance in this game.
I don't know if Chris Pronger was upset that he got caught or upset that he committed the penalty, but he was talking to himself right after it. He was in the trenches right in front trying to move people out from in front of Jamie McLennan. Yep, straight left to the jaw, it looked like. Sandstrom came through, and he was one of the guys that was in front.
Might have had a spear right there. That's the roughing. 4:55, Pronger goes. This is power play number 7 for the Mighty Ducks in this game. This begins to hurt. Tomas Sandstrom who took that shot to the midsection. Power play for Anaheim, which throughout their young time in the National Hockey League has been a huge problem. Continues to be so here this year. 25th in the league, and tonight Zippo. As far as double power play opportunities, 1 for 6, but not much setup time and not much time in the zone. Well, we'll see whether or not they can convert here and bring themselves to within 1 goal again. Cullen dropped it back, Ruchin to the point. Mironov out to play it by Keller, and Cullen behind the net. Nobody set up in front now. Young will move to the high slot area. Cullen, he's got the goal. Cullen, it deflects just wide of the net. McLennan in net for St. Louis, watching the play behind him here. Scott Young in the corner, tipped it back. Ruchin trying to help by setting up a pick. Now goes to the front of the net. Back on top. Gibson Filet can't do anything with it. Wide side. Mironov wanted to wrist it. Didn't get control of it. So he holds it in. Tip pass down low. Steve Ruchin back on top. Shot there. Mironov missed the net. He was wide open for the chance, but he shot it wide. Cleared around by Duchesne and out.
Now, if the Anaheim Mighty Ducks had the skill level, they could catch St. Louis, because the St. Louis penalty killers are so aggressive. The reason he had so much time on that shot back there, Gary, Pellerin and Conroy were both over on the same side of the ice, aggressively pursuing one guy. So you can catch him, but you got to be quick.
St. Louis got it out of there. A short-handed opportunity. Pavel Demitra sitting. Look at this. Shot it over the net. It stopped in the crease. The puck stopped in the crease. Demitra had time to pick it up, tried to roof it, and he shot it over the crossbar. Oh, my. McLennan cleared it off, and Hull clears it out.
You know, sometimes players will say, I had too much time. If it had just been a reflex action and just gotten it and banged it right away and snapped it, but he was able to back out, get himself some angle. I don't know if it deflected off anything, but he just about shot that into the stands.
And he's been a good goal scorer. 8 goals in the last 18 games for Demitra. Not on that one, though. Back in, Sean Pronger. Power play down to 15 seconds now for the Mighty Ducks. Pronger turned in the corner. Banged by Jamie Rivers over there. Now loose in front is Richard Park. And he fell down trying to shoot it. Park was all alone. The pass a little too close to the skates, and he went down on one knee trying to get the shot off, and the power play is over. 1 for 7 on the power play for the Ducks. Behind the net, Hull centered. Turgeon the tip. Up in the air. Hull the rebound, goes to the corner. Played back to Turgeon. Turgeon trying to find someone in front. Duchesne moves in. Hull shot. That deflected wide off Pronger's skates. Park turns to get it out of there and dives. Todd will clear it off the near side boards. Reichel trying to free that puck up against Bergevin. Did. Centering pass blocked to the corner by Hull. Hull has played some pretty good D in this game for St. Louis, as well as picking up a goal. In the corner, Bergevin. Again deflected away. Blues trying to clear. Turgeon got it out of there. Park will have to regroup back at center. The Ducks clear the zone. Sent in off the near side. Reichel, Duchesne got tied up. Duchesne in the corner. Drury freed it. Reichel's pass. No penalty call as a Duck got hit in front. Puck loose. And it squirts to the near side. Face-off dive. Moved out by Brett Hull. Blues want a line change. Clears it to Turgeon. Turgeon, Hull. Turgeon! Oh, great play! Stolenkov with a fine save as Turgeon and Hull, with some great passing, created a 2-on-1. The St. Louis Blues 3, the Ducks 1. National Hockey Night. Thanks for joining us, everybody, here in Anaheim, where the Ducks are 10-16-4 at home, 24th in the league. As far as that home record is concerned, St. Louis 12th best on the road, 13-14-3. 5-on-5 situation. Campbell to Courtnall. Courtnall, Campbell, and Pavel Demitra on this line now, as Joel Quenneville has had to juggle lines with the loss of players here in this game tonight because of injuries for the St. Louis Blues. Right through the middle, Courtnall tried to tip, could not. Scott Young cleared it out. Pronger will come back to get it. Here's pass deflects off the center boards. Ducks coming over the boards, change it up, right back in. Young can't control, and again back out to center ice. Pavel Demitra reached in, got beaten through it by Doug Huda. Tip past Tomas Sandstrom. Ruchin dropped it. Young shot, save made McLennan. He'll hang on for the rebound, and in behind the net. Pronger gets into it a bit, but they'll separate up. 11-12 left to go here in the second period. Check in with Brian England. Brian.
Gary, we're looking at Chris Pronger of the St. Louis Blues, and he's the subject of our spotlight. When you watch this guy play, he's got a 6'5" frame. Watch his reach. His use of his stick is one of the best things that he does. As a defenseman, you have to try and control your environment whichever way you can. He can deflect pucks away and control the environment all the way around him, especially in the corners in his own zone. Our Men in Speed Stick Spotlight points out things like that. Keep an eye on defensemen who use their stick like Chris Pronger does.
You bet, Brian. And it's not only being tall enough and having a long enough stick to get it there. You got to be smart and know where to use it, know where the lane is, know where the crucial place is to have your stick. And Pronger does it well.
He is a bright young star, only 23 years old, leading the league in plus-minus. Jamie McLennan knocked that one away. Bergevin and Ruchin do battle into the corner. Young came in to help. Ruchin came away with it. Ruchin trying to turn to the in, and another penalty and another interference call as the obstruction calls continue. Linda, what are we going to do about this? Linda Cohn.
Thanks, Gary. The new Dodge takes us to Calgary. Second period highlight, Flames and Senators. The Flames looking to tie it up. They have a two-man advantage, and they do just that, taking advantage. Marty McGuinness scoring his 14th, and we're tied. Guys, back to you.
Flames, one of those teams we were talking about, battling for some points, trying to make the playoffs. The penalty will give the power play to the Blues. Tomas Sandstrom. Interference call at 9:04. This will be power play number 4 for St. Louis, and our 11th power play of the game combined.
Well, one of the things that we wondered about St. Louis is were they going to be flat after a big game yesterday. Got to have people playing the body. Jim Campbell, number 10 for St. Louis, has not put up the numbers that he put up last season, but boy, did he ever catch Tomas Sandstrom looking on that play. Don't watch the pass for longer than about, well, don't even bother watching it. That's the best advice.
St. Louis Blues have gone 0 for 3 in the power play in this game. They're 0 for 9 on the season against Anaheim in the 3 games these teams have played. Face-off coming outside the St. Louis Blues line. Matt Cullen, the rookie, who's got the only Anaheim goal, is out there playing center here on that face-off. He'll have to chase back in behind the net. The Blues will start it out here through center to Shane, intercepted by Cullen. Cullen, the tic-tac, lost control. 3-on-2 down low. Hull's the trailer. There he is. Hull open, leads it to Shane. Scores! What a blast! Oh, baby, you talk about roofing. Steve Duchesne, second leading defensive scorer in the NHL, blasts it home. A 4-1 Blues lead.
What a passing play. Incredible passing play, but Matt Cullen had a problem. Watch Matt Cullen. He bails out because look what's coming at him. He loses his balance. Watch this. And he tries to get out of the way, but he leaves a 3-on-1. Then watch the passing play. 1, 2, and then Brett Hull. I'll tell you what, we know Brett Hull is a scorer. Boy, can he ever lay it out beautifully for the one-timer. Steve Duchesne just about ripped this through the back of the net. That was Cullen. He didn't have a choice. He was going to get killed. He would have run right into Jamie Rivers. So he kind of lost his balance, and then Steve Duchesne said, I'm here, baby. Give it to me. Remember the first period, Duchesne wanted one so bad, and he kind of hit it off the heel of his stick. He wanted that one just as bad, but he got it on the sweet spot and really ripped it.
We talk about defensemen joining the flow. There is a perfect picture of a defenseman joining the offensive play. Duchesne saw the huge hole coming down the slot, and as soon as he saw it, took advantage of it.
And undoubtedly he yelled for it. Steve Duchesne's a pretty good vocal player. He'll let you know where he is on the ice. Stalenkov might have gotten a piece of that, but he wasn't going to stop it. Oh. He wasn't even going to come close to stopping it.
His 201st career goal, and that is the power play goal for Duchesne, his 13th of the year. 4 of them have been power play goals. Hull and Turgeon get the assists. Comes at 9:23. And the St. Louis Blues have taken a 4-1 lead in this Anaheim defense, which is 23rd in the league Again, surrendering goals. It has been a huge problem for them this year.
And goal 41 now for the defense corps of the St. Louis Blues. A 4-1 lead. A team that is without all of its firepower, just about all of its firepower. I don't know how they come back here.
It's going to be very tough. Courtnall played it off the boards. Getting out of the way was Pavel Demitra. Almost caught him in the head. Mironov will chase it down in his own end. Back to 5-on-5. Shot 16-11 in favor of the St. Louis Blues. The other thing the Blues have been doing well is shutting down opposing chances. Campbell dropped it. Played by Demitra. Demitra back on top. Pronger the shot. Save made. Kicked out. Shot by McAlpine goes wide. Rebound. Parfa plays it around for Mironov. St. Louis giving up the second fewest shots per game in the NHL. 24. Only Dallas has given up fewer on average this season. And for St. Louis, it's been even better of late as they have held the opponents down below that number in chances over the last 15 games.
And they do it on the road better than they do it at home. I mean, they're a terrific defensive team that are committed to their coaching staff's system, and they just flat out execute game after game.
27 or fewer shots in the last 15 games. Great chance right there. Couldn't connect Pronger. Pronger on the near side was open, but the pass was too far in front of him. Held up to the side of the net. Duda. Bad pass. Conroy trying to center. Deflects back up to the point. Duchesne again on a blocker save. Deflected to the side. And now St. Louis putting the heat on. Centering pass comes to the near side. This is a 5-on-5 setting. But the Blues are holding the puck in the offensive zone. Brought back out through center. Two players being separated behind the play, and they will be. McMaGoo hung back. Shot young. Deflected wide and high by Ruchin, and it ends up going over the glass. 8:41 left to go in the second period. The St. Louis Blues have gone on top in this game by a score of 4-1. Kelly Chase, P-I-M could be his middle name. He picks up a lot of PIMs. And he was looking for another one.
Yeah, he still can't find anybody to go. He got squared up with Doug Huda, looked at him, stared him down, and then McMaGoo said, break it up, guys. Break it up, guys. Yeah, I put all that paint on and came here. My team's down 4-1, and it's not looking very good right now. And I'm looking like kind of an idiot sitting here with this paint all over me. Well, what are you going to do?
Let me assure him the score of this game doesn't affect how he looks.
Yeah.
Oh my. 4-1 lead for the Blues. Yeah, this morning, I'll tell you, they were wondering whether they're going to play here. They had a 22-day rodeo here. St. Louis Blues players came out to practice, never got out because that fiberboard that's used to lay down on top ended up getting very wet. The rodeo had a lot of dirt, of course, that they use. They put on top of that board, and what they were doing every time the dirt dried out, they put water on it. The water seeped through to that fiberboard, and the fiberboard stuck to the ice.
Believe it or not, the ice actually looks pretty good right now. I mean, the linesmen have been repairing it here and there, but the puck hasn't been bouncing. Players haven't looked like they're losing their balance. It's pretty good.
They've done a great job with that, working all day to get this ready to go. Ted Drury working from behind the net for the Ducks. Drury drops it off on the far side. Trinkel lost control, poked away by Pronger, up and by Drury out of the zone. It'll be chased down at the far end. The Ducks will come back to get it. Third around near side. Again, Pavel Trinkel with it, the 21-year-old rookie. Didn't do anything with it at the point. McAlpine save made. Rebound taken, and Cullen will just shoot that one up and get it out of the zone to take the heat off. Hit with a high stick. That will draw the whistle. Now the Ducks now really have got to reach down because St. Louis is starting to tilt that ice the other way and putting great pressure in the offensive zone on Stelenko.
There's no time for Anaheim to transition when they're back in there trying to get the puck out of their zone. Chris McAlpine was right up on the blue line. Anaheim tried to dump it out. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's Steve Duchesne, doesn't matter who it is. Chris McAlpine's getting ice time because Al McInnes is out right up on the blue line. See number 19 standing there? I mean, Anaheim looked like they had a chance to get the puck out of the zone. But St. Louis is on the forecheck, and they're having success. And we're seeing more and more now with each passing game because of all of these obstruction calls being made. The forecheck is coming back.
You now have the opportunity to make a forecheck effective. In that sense, it goes back to full-time hockey. Knocked down at center again by Courtnall. His pass is blocked. Played by Jeremy Stevenson. He lost control. Cleared up by Campbell. Courtnall. Ducks will give Chase Mironov. Icing call coming up here on the touch by Dmitry Mironov. 7:23 to go, second period. St. Louis Blues on top here by a score of 4-1. Jamie McLennan, their 26-year-old netminder now for the Blues, in for Grant Fuhr, has given them some very strong games this year.
Especially on the road. I mean, he's really been a picture of consistency when he's played. Number 4 in goals against average in the NHL on the road behind Belfour, Brodeur, and Barrasso. Our alliteration lineup of goaltenders for the night. And that's terrific. And you know, honestly, in talking to the Blues organization, I said, listen, there's the guy that's backing up Rich Perron. The Blues are hoping he's related to Bernie Perron, but they don't think that he is. But, you know, I talked to the Blues management and said, listen, Grant Fuhr is not going to come back until after the trading deadline. And then let's suppose that his knee doesn't respond. They said, no, the surgery's a success. One way or the other, they said, we're really happy with Jamie McLennan, and we think he's the guy that can take us where we need to go.
Question, of course, in that situation is, do you go out and try and work a deal for another goaltender just in case? They're saying no. Shot blasted wide off the heel of the stick of Scott Pellerin. That'll be cleared out of the zone. Chased down far end. Tomas Sandstrom, the big hit. Good work down low and front one on one. Great save, McLennan. Rebound deflected off a pipe wide. Jeremy Stevenson, 2 chances on Jamie McLennan, who denied him. Puck underneath Todd now, and they'll get a whistle. Great effort made by Tomas Sandstrom to keep it alive for Stevenson, who got the opportunities. But it didn't go in. McLennan blocked it and protects that 3-goal lead. Our head and shoulders storyline, Turcotte, McGinnis, and Atchingham out of there with injuries in this game. Hull picking up a goal, and tonight 11 minor penalties, 6 obstructions.
Head and shoulders replay. Jeremy Stevenson, he did have his head up once he ended up getting the puck and getting in front. Sandstrom went to the board, centered it out to a wide open Jeremy Stevenson.
Jamie McLennan hanging tough. Once down on the ice to make the second save. On the far side, Courtnall's got it. 4-1 lead for the Blues. And McLennan making sure it stays that way, at least for the moment. Young in the corner got tied up. Demitra again. Shot save made in front. Courtnall fanned on the second chance. Dumped it down low. Stolenkov with 1 save on that flurry. Banged off the far side boards. Demitra blocks it again. Ducks getting beaten to the puck now as the Blues keep that heat on. Courtnall centered. Back into the middle. The Ducks work it out. Blues, of course, with a 3-goal lead now. Their D staying back. Ducks are not going to get anybody behind them unless there's a monstrous mistake. Courtnall dumps it on the far side. Now Demitra waiting for help. Duchesne joins him. Courtnall open, left it, and Campbell, the intended pass, a little behind him.
Boy, the intensity's gone out of the Ducks game. I mean, when St. Louis crosses the blue line, is allowed to stand there and wait for somebody to catch up, you know that the Ducks are sagging emotionally, because you got to be right in their faces and you got to be sharp to do that.
Brett Hull trying to run that one in, taken out of the play by Trinka, cleared back out to the center. McAlpine there. He'll send it back into the zone. And again back to get it on the far side. Turgeon slipped, went down. Ducks dug Huda. Still in their own end here now. Huda trying to work it up, lost it. The Blues get another turnover. Pronger, that one deflected wide out in front. Hull was set up in the slot, tipped that one wide. Trinka again behind the net, clears it up. Again, just looking to clear, and they do. Boutillier cleared that one out, and McAlpine will touch it up. St. Louis Blues trying to make it a California kind of weekend. They beat LA yesterday, and they're beating Anaheim 4-1 here on National Hockey Night.
He plays against all the top lines on the other team. Excellent defensive player. Breakaway from Jeremy Stevenson stopped on the first go-around by McLennan, and the rebound was going in until Chris Pronger picked it out of midair with a little bunt. He is the leading bunter on the summer softball team as well. There it is.
Nice play. Great hand-eye coordination on that one for Pronger. Norris Trophy votes?
Lots.
For Chris Pronger.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's a 2-man race. Pronger and Nicky Lidstrom from Detroit.
Yep. Face-off comes to the right side of Mikhail Stolenkov, the netminder for the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. Park out there will be chased out of the face-off zone. Ted Drury will move in.
Of course, right now I can hear Nate Greenberg and Heidi Holland yelling in Boston, saying that Ray Bourque should win the Norris Trophy. And you know what? I'll agree with you that Ray Bourque should get votes for the Norris Trophy and most likely be one of the 3 finalists every year that he plays.
Be a good race this season. Some real great work done by the D. Then you got guys like Steve Duchesne, who offensive, defensive players always get votes. And guys like Duchesne, McGinnis are always up there in that department just because of the numbers they put up offensively. Again, on our Bud Ice scoreboard, Senators Flames still tied 1-1, second period of that game. The Sabres had the shutout. Mercy me, guess who was in net in that game? The Buffalo Sabres. Hasek is just...
It wasn't Steve Shields.
Was it Steve Shields?
No,
I
it was
don't
not.
think so.
No, it was Dominic Hasek.
He had his 8th save of the year in that game for the Sabres, making believers of everybody. Yet when we asked the question before the game, right now, if you were going into the Stanley Cup playoffs, who would you take for your goaltender?
You could pick anybody in the world. I would pick Patrick Waugh.
And so would I.
Patrick Waugh won 3 Stanley Cups behind 3 vastly different teams.
Yeah.
2 in Montreal that were years apart. And drastically, 1 in '86, 1 in '93, then he won in Colorado. I mean, if Dominic Hasek had won a Stanley Cup, I would probably pick Dominic Hasek, but only because he has never won a Stanley Cup. That's why I picked Patrick.
Well, he certainly is giving it a run here with the numbers he's putting up this year. 4:14 remaining to go here in the second period. Played by McLennan at the side of the net. 2014 shots in favor of the St. Louis Blues. Up off the near side. Kelly Chase. Chase has got a man open in the middle. Scott Pellerin broken up. Carpa. David Carpa got in on Pellerin. Then the passer and the receiver. And Duchesne sends it back into the middle. St. Louis Blues. Steve Duchesne. They regroup at center here. Bergevin laid it off the far side. Craig Conroy down the middle. Holds it. Shots. Stolenkoff the save. Good work that time by Conroy using the defenseman as a screen. Got Dimitra turned around.
Conroy's really come on. I mean, here's a kid that was taken from the Montreal organization out of the minors and has just gotten better just about every game.
Pronger and a turnover. Sent back in behind the net. Dimitra the intended. Chased down by Jim Campbell. Campbell working on this line. Dimitra back to Portnoy. Portnoy pinned up in the corner by Carpa. Puck free along the boards. Young and a penalty coming out of the Ducks. You get to the stage in a game and you're behind 4-1 and your legs stop moving, and when they stop moving, these kinds of penalties start happening. Carpa will be called on a hook. He just lost his man.
Yeah, I think part of the frustration started. He looked like he got tied up over in front of the St. Louis bench. You get over near the opposition, and sometimes you're like you're caught in seaweed with Velcro all over it. Can't get away. He got locked in by one of the linesmen. Mark Bergevin was holding there. Jamie Rivers had a piece of him. Then he got in front of him. Couldn't get back in. Let me out of here. I'm drowning. Finally stumbled out of the pack and came into the play, and that's when he took his penalty.
16:45. He'll go on the hooking call. This is power play number 5 now for the St. Louis Blues. They pick up a power play goal in this game. Lobbed out of the zone by Cullen. He can do that in the defensive end. St. Louis Blues a chance to increase their lead here with 3:04 to go in the period. Turgeon's pass comes back to center to Hull. Hull will drop it back. It seems as though Pronger plays every minute of the game. Chris Pronger is just out there all the time, and he's one of those players with a magnum on his stick. The puck is always where he is. Pronger sends it in.
Yeah, well, Joel Quenneville goes pretty well with 4 defensemen. Al McInnes, after he damaged his own teammate's hand, has not been able to return. He is physically ill, we understand, and so emotionally upset that he can't come back. Chris McAlpine's taken over. The reason you see Pronger so much is that, first of all, Joel Quenneville goes with only 2 defensemen. The second, or 4 defensemen. The second reason is he can stay out there a bunch. Boy, he's got a stamina. And when Joel Quenneville needs him for the last 3 or 4 minutes of a hockey game, he's got him.
Great to have that kind of player around. We were talking about Ray Bourque. I mean, Bourque has been that kind of player all his life. Always on the ice, always ready to go. End of a game, can play minute after minute. And you see the numbers he's put up, that plus 32, the best in the National Hockey League starting today.
The last time I checked, he was 6 pluses ahead of the next closest guy to him. And then everybody else was bunched 25, 25, 24, 23, but he's way ahead.
And he's been there all season long at the top of that pile. Jamie Rivers, the rookie, behind his own net here, starts it out with 1:09 left on this power play for St. Louis. He'll do the dump in. Pavel Dimitra sent it in. Stolenkoff holds it up. Is ripped high off the glass, trying to clear the zone. Doesn't work. Down low again. Rivers dump pass, shot wide. Campbell, he had an open net. On the far side, Jim Campbell had Stalenkov to the far side, but he never got the shot off. That one right behind Stalenkov by Dimitra. Dimitra tried to hit Campbell. The pass went behind the goaltender and still didn't go in.
Gary, Campbell broke his stick on the post. He fanned on the puck, and I could hear it breaking, and he kept playing, not knowing that it was broken. He finally dumped it, was over by the bench. He had to go and get a new one.
A penalty if caught, of course, playing with a broken stick. Campbell starts it up, 27 left on the advantage. St. Louis Blues on the power play. They change up. Turgeon out of the ice. Turgeon trying to put that through the D. Couldn't. John Pronger blocked that one. Cleared back in. McLennan comes out of the net to hold it up. Pronger there to get it. Pronger behind the net. 12 left on the St. Louis advantage. Leading the charge, Pronger. Pronger plays it off the wall for Murphy. Murphy, Stalenkov got there first. Ducks needing to get one out of here. They've got Sean Pronger up ice short-handed. They don't get it out. Hull drops it. It's a 2-on-0 down low. Backhand McAlpine wide. St. Louis had two men down low, nobody else. Hull the shot blocked by Stalenkov. Turgeon, Hull scores! Brett Hull, second goal of the game. It's 5-1 Blues.
But right now the Blues are saying, finally, when they had the two men alone in front of Stalenkov, Turgeon didn't see that Murphy was with him, and he dropped it back into the slot. That didn't squash the rally. I mean, the onslaught kept on coming until Brett Hull was able to find daylight. He had a better chance before the one that he scored on, but Stalenkov was able to get that one. Just great persistence, but the Ducks are pretty well quacking with broken wings right now. That was the good chance from Hull. It was better than the one he scored on. Finally, Hull pulled away, got open, and that one went under Stalenkov's arm, right under the armpit.
So Brett Hull has got a couple of goals in this game with a minute left to go in the period. I think that was an even strength goal. Penalty had expired. So 18:58 the time of the goal, and it is a 5-1 St. Louis Blues lead. This Blues offense is chugging, folks. They came into this game tied for fourth in the NHL as they are averaging 2.93 coming in. They're going to up that. They are only one of 6 teams averaging more goals per game this year than happened last year. So their offensive production in a year where the offense is down in the league has been impressive. Poke back deep, Todd in his own end. Todd behind his own net, driven a little bit deeper by Craig Conroy. Hull now 2 goals, 2 assists in this game. Turgeon a goal and 2 assists, multi-point men for the St. Louis Blues. Courtnall, centering pass deflected off Campbell. Pavel Dimitra down low, could not get to it. Ducks looking to just clear this out of there, and they do, and we've completed 2 periods of play. The St. Louis Blues lead it 5-1. Have been one of the surprising teams in the National Hockey League success-wise. They've got a pretty good shot now at starting the playoffs on home ice.
Gary, they just keep on ticking and keep on clicking. This is a team that I didn't have in the top 4 before the season began. But the St. Louis Blues, I said the only chance for Anaheim is that St. Louis comes in flat after an emotional game yesterday in L.A. L.A. was right behind them yesterday, but they come in here tonight not flat at all. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Very impressive. They played a strong game. They're beating the Anaheim Mighty Ducks to the puck virtually every time. Hull's having a big night at 2-2. So when they've got that kind of going, you can pretty much be assured you're going to see a new goaltender.
Yeah, but I think Pierre Pagé wishes he could kind of pull a couple of 40 or 50 goal scorers out of his hat instead of Guy Hebert. Guy Hebert started the first game out of the Olympic break. That was in Vancouver and really didn't play very well, but for a pretty good reason. He didn't get any action during the Olympics. Mikhail Stalenkov is now on the bench, and here we go in the third.
So Guy Hebert's back in net. Young moves it in. Young, the shot deflected wide and in behind the net. Good play by Pronger. Put the body down to block it. Came back to get it. Shot by Carper, deflected wide. So the Mighty Ducks come out here trying to fly, trying to get one early, down 5-1, being outshot 23-15 by St. Louis. Steve Ruchin. Ruchin's pass intercepted. Turgeon tipped it away. Both Paul Kariya and Teemu Selanne are out of this game, both with injuries. Did not start, and not clear when they're going to get back, with Kariya still suffering the concussion problem and Selanne with an abdominal muscle strain. So Pierre Pagé of the Mighty Ducks has had to regroup. A lot of call-ups, younger players getting a lot of ice time while they wait for their stars to get back.
And this is kind of a sad start to a 5 out of the next 6 games at home here at the Pond. But Pierre Pagé is doing what he can do with this. I mean, Barry Melrose made the best point. I mean, you got to keep your players up, and you can't let them get too down no matter how bad it gets. and you got to tell them, hey, listen, at the same time, you got to try and avoid telling them we're just not very good.
Yeah.
And they aren't. And Barry was right. It's not that they're not trying, it's that they're just not good enough. But you can't tell them that as a coach. I mean, I don't think Barry would tell his team, listen, guys, you're just not good enough.
No, you're not going to say that.
No.
Of course, all that means is they're going to get worse. Banged off the glass, and the St. Louis Blues in all alone. Conroy, poke checked away at the last minute. Good play by Pavel Trenka, the defenseman who got back and deflected that. Craig Conroy had a breakaway momentarily. The bouncing puck had to wait on it a bit. Tip to the near side. Jamie McLennan in net for the St. Louis Blues, looking for the win in this game. In place of Brant Fuhr, is going to be out for the 4 weeks. McLennan will get the starts. He is 8-4-2 coming into this game. Ted Drury spins around, holds it in, lost it to Duchesne. And Duchesne on the flip will end up putting it on the bench, and that will draw the whistle. So for these St. Louis Blues, it's been better to be on the ice. You don't want to get injured than to be on the bench. Our update, Darren Turcotte, who got slashed by his own teammate Al McGinnis, has lacerations of the hand, but they say it's not broken.
Oh, that is great news.
McGinnis is literally physically sick over what happened when he slashed his own teammate's hand on the bench. He hasn't played and is not going to come back. And Blair Atchinham is out. He does have a dislocated finger.
That is amazing that Darren Turcotte does not have any broken bones in there. I guess we're assuming that he's already come back and cleared x-rays and everything, because Al McInnes was about a 2/3 to 3/4 baseball swing onto the bare hand that was on the top of the board.
It was not pretty, and McGinnis left the game after that happened and never did come back. Courtnall moves it in. Brett Hull looking for a hat trick in this game as he's picked up 4 points, 2 and 2. Courtnall centered, shot on, save made by Guy Hebert. Campbell the opportunity. Guy Hebert comes up with a save. Championship week coming up on the Deuce for you tomorrow at 9:30. Basketball action. It'll be the Northeast Conference Championship to kick it off for you, as you'll have Long Island University against Fairleigh Dickinson. That's 9:30 tomorrow on the Deuce. Championship week presented by 7-Up.
Guy Hebert starting here in the 3rd period. Wants to get a feel for the puck, get warmed up a little bit. You come in without a warm-up when you come in as a replacement between periods, or at least at the start of a period, the way Guy Hebert is in relief of Mikhail Stalenkov.
Guy Hebert just has not played that well right before the Olympic break and here after. Not bad numbers, goals against and save percentage, but not a good record.
But Pierre Pagé, when I talked to him before the game, said he is our #1 guy. I mean, there's no question about that.
That one ripped high over the head, and it'll end up going over the glass. Get the whistle here with 18 minutes left to go in the 3rd period.
No one provides roadside assistance like AAA.
Face-off will come inside or outside the zone. Mick Magoo will make that decision, and he'll move it outside the Duck zone. St. Louis Blues, top 4 teams, of course, at each conference have home ice to start the playoffs. With a victory here in this game, the Blues are going to give themselves some distance.
The Blues have been in a home ice position. That means in the top 4 since the 1st week of the season. They had a 4-point bulge over LA going into yesterday's game. They won that game, so they got a 6-point lead over LA. Unless they fall flat on their faces here, it's going to be 8 points. And the closest anybody's been able to get to St. Louis to take them out of home ice has been 4 points. And that was yesterday before the game against LA.
The Mighty Ducks, they are battling for playoff points now. They are 3 points out of a playoff spot coming into this game as Edmonton has moved into that last final spot, which is the 8th San Jose between Anaheim and the Edmonton Oilers.
It's going to be a tough haul. San Jose made changes, I think, mid-season that were good changes. Edmonton looks like they're ready to start rolling. I like their changes too. Billy Guerin's really a big addition to their hockey team. So we'll see. It's going to be tough.
They've got to get the Stars back. The Ducks do. There's no question they know that. And it's just a matter of when they're going to be able to play again Solani and Correa or Travis Green, acquired in that deal with the New York Islanders, who's out with a groin injury. Back in behind the net, Guy Hebert leaves it there. Near side wall, puck loose. Turgeon had jammed it up. Young digs it out. Young moves it out through center. Stevenson will bring it up. Down through the middle, Ruchin. Ruchin dropped it off wide side. Centering pass back to him, blocked. Still free in the corner, played by Pronger. Pronger off the side of the net. Jamie McLennan watching as he hugged that short side post. Turgeon again, able to clear it out. Batted down in the air, Dmitry Mironov. Mironov waits, St. Louis Blues change it up. Poke checked away at center by Berger. Played back again by Ruchin. Cleared up again, knocked away. St. Louis Blues jamming away at center. No icing here. Pronger will come back to get it. Pronger behind his own net, Matt Cullen out. Cullen has scored the only goal for the Mighty Ducks. Picked it up, third goal of the game. The only one the Ducks have that came in that first period. Behind the net, it'll be touched up for the icing call. National Hockey Night, the St. Louis Blues up by 4.
Anaheim. You know, there's lots of great duos in the National Hockey League. We watch them work together all the time. Great passing plays and great finish. We have one here tonight. The disher and the shooter. Turgeon, the disher. Brett Hull always gets open in front of the net. But it's Turgeon's ability to find Brett Hull's stick. That's what the key is here. Look at him look up. Look at his eyes. Looking right at that stick. And it goes right on the target. Brett Hull just never misses. That's the payoff, guys, on our Men in Speed Stick Spotlight.
And they certainly have contributed here tonight with Hull 2-2 and Turgeon 1-2 in this game.
You know what's underrated about Brett Hull is laying the target out there. You know, Turgeon's looking for it, but unless he has something to find and to target, he doesn't know where he's passing. So Brett Hull is not only good at getting open, but then when he's open, he lets you know exactly where he wants it. There are some shooters that wait for the puck with their stick 2 and 3 feet off the ice. The great scorers are the ones that give you the target, because a lot of times if the stick isn't on the ice, you pass it into the guy's skates.
Yep. And Hull has always been one of those players who, despite the fact the opposition keenly aware of his presence on the ice, he still gets open. He wanders around away from the puck, finds an open spot, especially in that high slot area, and with that great wrist shot over there. Once he gets the puck on the stick, he can get rid of it about as quickly as anybody in the National Hockey League. Intercepted, dumped back in by the Ducks. Pronger comes back to get it. Chris Pronger clears it out of the zone. The Blues, Pellerin, trying to get that pass dumped in by Dimitra wide side. Taken back along the near side boards. Jason Marshall. And Park's pass comes out of the zone, goes the length of the ice. Icing call coming on the touch up by Jamie Rivers. National Hockey League action over the years on both ESPN and ESPN2 will be celebrated with the 1,000th broadcast coming your way on National Hockey Night next Sunday. This game will be seen nationwide, including Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Some of the great scorers of the NHL, including Jaromir Jagr and Leclerc and Lindros and Francis, will all be involved in that game. Hope to see you next Sunday, 8 o'clock.
Big scorers there. Big scorers here. There is the leading goal scorer for the St. Louis Blues, Jeff Courtnall. He has 24 goals, but Brett Hull is closing in. He has 22. And Brett Hull has been his team leader in goals since the 87-88 season when Tony McKegney led the Blues. So Brett is used to being up at the top.
Tony McKegney was saying before the game, Tony was one of my favorite people in the league playing. I kind of lost track of Tony McKegney here. He left the National Hockey League and have not heard a lot from Tony since then. You said you ran into him along the way. Shot on. That's deflected wide. In behind the net, Matt Cullen looking for his second goal of the season. Cullen battling along the boards. Along the point, Brett Severin moved in to hold it in. Ted Drury hit the post. Rebound. Mironov covered up. A little help back there for Jamie McLennan. One off the post, and then he followed the rebound underneath his glove.
I don't know if that one came out of a crowd. Jamie McLennan looked like he picked it up after it hit the post. Our U.S. Army goal cam will kind of show you, maybe it deflected. You see how he flinched and then froze? Possibly deflected, but it came out squarely right off the post. Watch a little flinch, and then he froze and went right off the post. I thought he was going to move to it, but he didn't. Pretty good coverage up front from Steve Duchesne, but the Mighty Ducks are not a very hungry hockey team right now, so it's easy going for the defenseman in front of Jamie McLennan. They don't even have to knock anybody over because there's nobody there to push out of the way.
McLennan 0-1-1 lifetime against Anaheim. Neither of the starting goaltenders in this game had ever beaten the opposition. Stolenkov is 0-3 against St. Louis. Guy Bear is in net now for the Ducks, but Stolenkov, of course, is the goaltender of record. Guy Bear dropped it off in behind the net. Doug Huda came back for the Ducks. Into the middle, the Ducks being outshot here 25-17, down by 4. You got to dump it in, hope for rebounds, try and bang it home. Hull behind the net, lost it, came right out in front on McLennan, his own netminder. Again held in by Doug Huda, rolled behind the net, and Pronger came over to get it. Cleared up, gnawed out, Blues still trying to get out of the zone. Turgeon didn't. Off the near side, Hull will. Hull looking up ice. Had him open. Brought back in, Joe Murphy. Murphy sent it in for Turgeon. Penalty coming up. Delayed call. Turgeon waiting. Call will be against the Ducks here. Hull down low with Turgeon. Turgeon in the middle. Turgeon the shot. Glove save. Guillet lost it, but got the whistle in any event. And the St. Louis Blues will go on a power play with 14:03 left to go here in the third period. Nick Magoo makes the call well behind the play. Players in a discussion out there at center ice.
Well, Gary, this is one of those lineup moves that may have backfired on the Mighty Ducks, because Pierre Pagé this last shift had David Karpa, his toughest and most physical defenseman, up front, and I think he really wants to try to stir something up. I mean, he's got to find a pulse. I mean, this team is flatlined right now. So here's Karpa up front as a forward, and he took on Chris McAlpine. Looked like he was looking for trouble, trying to get his team going, but instead he got himself into trouble and will now sit for roughing for a couple of minutes.
And the roughing call will take him out. And he was after Chris McAlpine. Penalty comes at 5:57. We'll have our 6th power play of the game. The Mighty Ducks 1 for 7 and the Blues 1 for 5. 13th overall power play we've had in this game. Far side, Brent Severn trying to turn it out. Blues hold it in. Duchesne centering pass. Ruchin is there, and Ruchin will clear it out of the zone for the Mighty Ducks. For the St. Louis Blues, Hull has picked up 2. Turgeon 1. Duchesne and Pronger have the others. Matt Cullen the only goal for the Ducks in this game. Brought in by Duchesne. Duchesne sends it back in behind the net. Pavel Demitra was at a Courtnall. Courtnall, Campbell. Demitra up front on the power play unit. Pavel Demitra on the far side. Dimitra's had a couple of good chances in this game, but it's not converted. Campbell tried to tip. Puck went right underneath and by his stick.
Boy, that last play is why St. Louis is always dangerous when Steve Duchesne is on the ice. He got down behind everybody and just missed the pass through the feet of Guillet.
Duchesne helped bring that one in. Campbell sent it around the boards. Young goes over to get it. Young trying to get it out of there. Rivers trying to hold it in. Young wins the battle. And the Blues will regroup. Both teams change up on the fly. On a power play, a minute left to go, and the advantage for St. Louis. There is Turgeon. Turgeon spun around. Pronger back out. Hull. Wide side blind pass blocked by Mironov straight up in the air. St. Louis still controlling here. Comes back for Pronger. Pronger drops it off. Looking for Turgeon. Turgeon with Hull. Turgeon in. Hull heads to the net, but a little too soon, and the St. Louis Blues will be called on the offside with 42 left on their power play. St. Louis winning yesterday against Los Angeles 5-2. Then coming to Anaheim for this game today, Joe Quenneville's team putting up those big second night numbers.
You know, Joel Quenneville, if the voting was right now, Gary, and we get to vote for the Adams Trophy, the broadcasters do, for Coach of the Year, Joel Quenneville would definitely be one of my 3 picks right now. I think right now the other 4 guys that would be trying to squeeze into at least my ballot would be Pat Burns of Boston, Kevin Constantine from Pittsburgh, Larry Robinson from Los Angeles, and Ken Hitchcock from Dallas.
Yep. They are coaches who've done great things with their teams. Hitchcock, I think in particular, I always feel in most sports, coaches who have teams that put up big numbers often don't get credit for the work they do because the team wins and everybody says, well, of course they're winning because they're a good team. Oftentimes not that easy to coach a good team.
And well, to me, Dallas has been the picture of consistency, and it is hard to keep a team always winning, always a threat, always good defensively, and that's what Dallas has done. They've been a picture of consistency better than anybody in the league, even New Jersey, because they struggled early.
And nobody thought Dallas would be the #1 team in the NHL for most of the season. That just wasn't an expectation. Power play over for the St. Louis Blues. They do not convert. Remains 5-1. Blues on top. Ducks trying to clear the zone here. Do not. Hull pushed it in a little deeper to Turgeon. Loose puck played in behind the net by Park. Richard Park called up on the 26th of February. The fill-ins here for the injured Mighty Duck team. And getting a lot of playing time here in this game. Park left it out through center. Jason Marshall sends it deeper into the zone. Bergevin came back to get it. 11:26 left here in the third. Bergevin back in his own end. Todd move up on him here. Back on the near side for Bergevin. Bergevin poked it back through the middle. Mighty Ducks, a couple of forecheckers in, trying to create turnovers here. Pellerin picks it up. Pellerin back to Bergevin. Bergevin cleared it back in the end. Looks like practice on how to clear the zone.
Just a little game of keep away.
Yeah. Back in behind the net, so they came back to get it. And Stevenson's got to go back a little bit deeper in front of his own net that time. Back for Marshall. Marshall up the near side and out of the zone. Ducks back 2-on-2. Todd near side. Kevin Todd, Stevenson in the middle. Stevenson hit by Pronger. Kicked away by Todd, but Pronger is there to pick it up. Pronger tried to clear, came right back to him. Pellerin got a glove on that as it came out of the zone, but he couldn't stop it. Villiers cleared it off on the near side, down the middle on the turnover. Pronger came in and broke the play up. Severin tried to dish that one around him, but when you're trying to go around that reach of Chris Pronger, you got a long way to travel. St. Louis Blues back the other way, Joe Murphy. Murphy left it in the middle. Murphy turns. Murphy spun around, hit twice. Ducks back out. The 3 back now for the St. Louis Blues here, protecting that defensive middle area. Courtnall let it bounce off his stick. Ducks will regain possession. Near side Young. Scott Young moved it in, lost it. Poke checked away by Ruchin into the corner. McAlpine gave chase. Ruchin got there first, but it came out to center. Ruchin will chase it down as he got ahead of Murphy. Ruchin off the near side board. Scott Young over to help. Young turning it away at center. Young's pass partially blocked. Pavel Demitra, save made by Guy Hebert. Demitra, third good chance he's had in this game, although that one obviously a long shot and no screen to work with. St. Louis Blues changing it up on the fly along with the Ducks here. Campbell in. Campbell trying to get it to the forehand, but it rolled away from him to the wall, and Demitra picks it up. Demitra to Tomas Sandstrom. Sandstrom with Bergevin in front. Bergevin down. Sandstrom in. Tried to pass and had it blocked. Ended up with a 3-on-2 down low, but McAlpine blocked it. Cullen, who's got the goal, runs into the middle. A shot. That deflects off a skate to the near side. Matt Cullen digging out there, trying to get his second goal of the game. In behind the net, it is loose. Warren Reichel. Reichel gave chase. McAlpine gave him the big shove. And the St. Louis Blues come the other way. 3-on-2 now, 3-on-3. Turgeon tied up from behind. Hull looking for the hat trick. His pass deflected into the middle. In shot, save made. Steve Duchesne looking for his second goal. Found himself open for a moment, but could not get it by Guy Hebert.
Steve Duchesne's got the sniff going. I mean, he's sniffing for a goal on every shift. He's a defenseman, and he is looking every chance he can get to jump up on the play, including right into the hash marks, and he just about had one here. In case you're wondering what Gary does in the offseason, he is one of those characters that you see as you cruise through the Pirates of the Caribbean. That's at Disneyland.
I'm the rhinoceros. Back in behind the net, Guy Hebert clears it up the near side. Conroy put the hit on. Played back into the corner, and Craig Conroy had tied it up. Again down low, Kelly Chase, but he couldn't get the shot up. And the Ducks will be able to work it out through center. Again, the St. Louis Blues doing a great job of holding the opposition down. Only 17 shots have been put up by the Ducks so far in this game. The Blues have picked up 28. The Blues below that season average of 24 shots against this year, and that certainly helps your netminder. The fans on hand, young men who are going to be very careful here about watching this game. Let's check in with Linda. Linda?
Gary, thanks. 1-800-COLLECT. Great save of the day takes us to Washington. Oh, guess who? It's Buffalo's Dominik Hasek. He's going to rob Kalle Johansson, one of his 36 saves in a 3-0 shutout of the Caps, his 8th shutout of the year, 28th of his career. Gary and Bill?
But first now, the 8. Satan with his second career hat trick, including an empty netter at the end of the game to pick up that hat trick and to come away with a win for the Buffalo Sabres. That is a team you would not want to play in the first round of the playoffs. Shot on, save made by McLennan. You don't want to play him anytime with Washington Memphis. Score! Scott Young! Loose rebound in the slot. Young jams it home. And the Ducks have goal number 2, and the Blues lead cut to 3.
Boy, you know how we talk about the trenches in front of the net? Aren't any trenches now in this hockey game. It's like there's a picnic blanket spread out there, and you can just kind of hang around and pick away at pucks, and if you get one, just let her rip. Because Scott Young was standing there. I mean, usually you expect to see somebody on the verge of falling down or being pushed or whatever. Watch this. Look for contact anywhere. You see it? Yep, a little bit right there at the end. One of the Anaheim players got his skates tangled up in his stick and fell down, but this is just about turned into a game that resembles a practice more than it does. But that's what happens when you're losing 5-1 in a hockey game.
They get their second goal. St. Louis Blues have a 5-2 lead now, coming at 11:59. Young picking up goal number 8. We appreciate it. Our agents appreciate it, and it's a wonderful thing to happen. Okay, now we'll turn around and face the ice again. Face-off will come to the right side of Guy Bear. These things happen when the game's 5-2 and ended about 24 minutes ago. At 28-18, the shots here in favor of St. Louis. And waiting here with some debris down on the ice to be picked up.
Another hole. You know what's interesting in this game is that we talked about potentially bad ice. There have been nicks and holes. The worst damage to the ice after they had the problem earlier today was in the St. Louis zone, or at least the zone that St. Louis defended twice. Advantage Anaheim? Obviously not.
Young at 11:59. Pronger and Ruchin picked up the assist in that last goal. That one ripped wide, goes in behind the net. Blues back to get it. Jamie Rivers cleared it up and not out. Shot back in, almost tipped. Good play by Sean Pronger down low, trying to bump that one on. Pronger again knocked that one down. Can't get the shot off, and it's cleared out to center. With only 7:23 left to go here, the Mighty Ducks trying to put on that last gasp effort to get some chances. Young back out on the ice after getting the goal, gets knocked down. Wanted a call, won't get it. Jamie Rivers able to move it out to Turgeon. Turgeon to Rivers. Rivers trying to tip pass it to Murphy. Lost it. Hull came over. Held it in momentarily. Brought back out. Down goes Brett Severin. Both teams change up on the fly here. Now we get a whistle. Maybe too many men on the ice. That is a linesman's call, whatever it is. The linesman made the call over on the far side. Maybe too many men on the ice somewhere.
I think that the flock of ducks might have been a little large. There looked to be 7 or 8 to me at one point. Here Paget's still looking for any advantage he can get, but that might be not the way to go about it. Well, it's an old junior trick. What do we got here? 1, 2. Okay, we stop it right here for a second. Okay, we got 2.
I think it's against the Blues.
Is it really? 2, 4, 6, 7. This is just when the whistle was blowing. Now and there's another guy back here. Let's look at the St. Louis guys. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, maybe it's because the Blues didn't have enough people out there because the penalty's on St. Louis.
For playing shorthanded.
I knew I heard the linesman say St. Louis.
I thought I did too. But
and he was standing right over there with the Blues bench, and it's against the Blues.
All I could see was white jerseys.
So now the new rule is if the other team's got 6, you've got to get them out there in 5 seconds and have 6, or it's a penalty.
It's a conspiracy.
So it is a power play here for the Ducks. So it does give them a chance with 6:50 left to go to cut this lead down again. This is the 8th power play of the game that they have had. Pierre Turgeon will serve the penalty for too many men on the ice for the St. Louis Blues. Near side, Cullen batted it in. Pronger tried to clear, could not. Reichel ran it along the wall. Ducks trying to get this set up, will not. Pronger clears it up and over the glass, but the faceoff will be in the St. Louis Blues zone with 1:32 on the power play for Anaheim. Told you now, the linesman can make certain calls in the National Hockey League, and that's one of them, to help the referee. Hard for a referee trying to watch everything and count players at the same time. So the linesmen do that when you see teams changing. They're watching to see if there are too many men on the ice.
And I think now that the NHL seems to be committed to calling the obstruction penalties, that there's nothing left to do but to add another referee. And that's on the drawing board. Have 2 referees and 2 linesmen. Because now Mick Magoo and all of the other refs in the NHL have to look at everything and call everything. So it's a snapshot here and a snapshot there, and it's I think more than one man can handle. And it's just a matter of getting enough competent officials, working it out with the officials union, and I'm hoping that it will happen.
Yeah, and I think the league thinks it's going to happen at this point in time. It's kind of been happening all along by giving the linesmen more authority without calling them referees. And obviously the officials union's only going to take that so far before they start saying, hey, wait a minute. 2-on-1 chance the other way. Young batted that one away. Mironov up, power play here for the Ducks. It's 56 seconds remaining on the advantage, but they don't have the puck. Hull stole it. Hull cleared it out through center. Dimitri couldn't handle it. Dimitri Mironov comes back to get it. Blues will change up on their penalty-killing unit. 5-2 lead. St. Louis Blues on top, and the Ducks with a power play opportunity to cut into that again here in the 3rd period. Chipped away near side. Young, who got that last goal, brings it in. Young trying to drop. Held on. Hull out there in the penalty killing unit. Set around far side. Steve Ruchin. Ruchin trying to clear it up. Pellerin got it. Cleared it out. Short-handed chance the other way. Campbell. Campbell. Cut off. Backhand. Empty net. He hit the post. Brett Hull. Hull had the opportunity coming up ice. He got the goaltender Guy-Hebert down, but he hit the post on the backhand chance. Cullen trying to move it in, and not out of the zone. Tomas Sandstrom deflected in on net. Jamie McLennan knocked it away. Hull almost had the hat trick, and it would have been a short-handed goal. Turgeon up onside. Turgeon scores! Even strength goal as he just came out of the penalty box. And Turgeon makes it a 6-2 lead.
Boy, dangerous guy if you're the Anaheim Mighty Ducks to come out of the penalty box and not be aware that he's out there. I mean, they had to know he was there, but I didn't hear Guy-Hebert slapping his stick to let the guys know he was coming out. But it was a great pass. I'm not even sure who made it from the other side of the ice to hit Turgeon. As the play moved up ice, was it Craig Conroy? I think it was. A perfect pass to Turgeon. He just let it rip after Brett Hull had just about scored on a backhand shot earlier. That Brett Hull chance, Gary, we talked about Brett Hull's backhand. He can't score on that backhand because of his stick. It is Craig Conroy. He's on my all underrated team in the NHL. Craig Conroy is, because he's terrific defensively. He's their best face-off artist, reliable offensively, and that's why. What a pass.
So the big guns here getting it done for the St. Louis Blues. Hull 2-2, Turgeon 2-2, and a 6-2 lead now for St. Louis. So a couple of guys, Turgeon and Hull, with hat-trick opportunities in the final 4:20 of this game. The Mighty Ducks back in the middle. Courtnall deflected that one on the backhand out of the zone. Goal came at 15-13, Turgeon's 12th, and Conroy picks up the assists on it. Remember, Turgeon has missed a lot of games this season with injuries. He's playing in only his 40th game of the year for the St. Louis Blues. So the goal numbers may seem down, but not when you consider the number of games that he's been in. Run back up by Courtnall. Courtnall in. Courtnall waiting with a 3-on-3. Campbell behind the net, lost control, flipped away. Campbell comes back to get it, got beaten to it by Sutton. Cleared it around to Ruchin. Steve Ruchin turns that one back into the middle. Jason Marshall dumped in behind the net. Jamie McLennan came out to play it over to Courtnall near side. Courtnall will dump it out the other way. 3:30 left to go here in the third period. And the St. Louis Blues on the verge of having a very successful weekend here in California. They win yesterday against the Kings, and now a chance here against the Ducks. Park sends that one in. Ruchin again hit by Duchesne. In front, Park. Park taken out of the plate. Jamie Rivers. Rivers on the hit again on the far side. Park go control. Park dropped it off. Tip pass in front for Ruchin. Duchesne cut it off. Steve Duchesne turns. Duchesne one-arms that one up, but not out. Park dumps it back in. Heads to the front. Rivers the hit. Centering pass. Just wide. Great opportunity. Soleil cut in on that left wing side. Open in front shot. Demitra once, twice deflected away by Park again. Pavel Trenka moved in. Trenka's alone in front. Shot comes near side, but Trenka had moved back to the blue as the Ducks were sending everybody in. Both teams change it up. Drop pass deflected in behind the net. Trenka again trying to clear it around the boards. Played by Kevin Todd. Todd out of the zone. Blues will complete their line change here as the puck rolls in. Pronger. This will be an icing fall on the Ducks. 2:20 remaining to go here in the third. The St. Louis Blues leading by 4. St. Louis Blues looking for the win. It would be their 32nd of the year if they can get it here. Face-off will come to the left side. Our Visa storyline, Hull and Turgeon to the Blues. Stalenkov, 5 goals on 23 shots. The goaltender of record, and the Ducks 24th at home. It's as though they'll suffer their 17th loss of the season, which is a turnaround the other way for the Mighty Ducks. Last year, they had a great home record, 23-12-6 at home. It has not held up from this year. Warren Reichel got the stick up that time as he took McAlpine down. And they're not done yet. Todd came in to protect against McAlpine, and that will begin the scrum.
First thing I look for is who is out there. St. Louis tough guys just got off the ice. They had Kelly Chase and Tony Twist out there before this shift. And that's why we got a chance to get in this broken up in under 4 or 5 minutes. Because if the tough guys were out there, you'd have to get the jaws of life ready to go. But Kevin Todd must be a frustrated guy that's trying to stay in the lineup. There's Tony Twist. Turn me loose, coach. Turn me loose. Well, there's nothing for the St. Louis Blues to fight for right now, other than to protect their own players, because they've got a 6-2 hockey game and 2 points in the bag with 2 minutes to go. So you'd think if anything was going to happen, it would be at least precipitated by some of the Ducks. That's Warren Reichel going into the corner with McAlpine. That's kind of how it started, and then Kevin Todd came in and was mixed up with McAlpine there on the right of the screen.
Al McMagoo will make the calls here and just get people off the ice to keep it under control at this point. McAlpine already has gone into the penalty box for the St. Louis Blues, and Warren Reichel will be heading out of there for the Ducks. Brett Hull, he's got 2 goals here in this game, even though in the season his goals per game average has been the lowest of his career.
We had a credit on our Visa replay card. So here it is, the Visa replay. That was the backhand by Brett Hull, and I mentioned that his stick is shaped something like a 9-iron. So when he goes to make that shot stretched out like that, he's trying to do it on the back side of the 9-iron, not on the front side of the 9-iron, and it doesn't work so well, does it, Brett?
Still smiling about it, at least.
Yeah.
The discussion continues in the penalty box here between Warren Reichel and McAlpine. You always want to be that guy in the middle, off on the right there, the official working the penalty box. You're in the middle while the 2 of them are going through that discussion.
You just want to roll tape on it for about a 15-year career and then just write a book of one-liners if it's printable.
And that would be the problem. Brett Hull turning at center. We go into a 4-on-4 here. Both will get roughing penalties, so matching minors. Turgeon sent it across ice, played back out by Jamie Rivers. Minute 48 left to go here in the period. 6-2 lead. Brett Hull will get a chance here, as will Turgeon, both of them with 2 goals. So chances for the hat trick. Joe Quenneville will send him out there and give him the opportunity to do that. You don't get that many. Shot save made. Rebound off the side of the net by Pye. Franca had the first chance. McLennan made the save, and the rebound set there for another backhand chance, but that one wide on the short side. St. Louis Blues head on home after this one tonight. They've got to hope that the injury bug stays away from them now. Here in this game, of course, they had Blair Atchingham suffer that finger problem. Turcotte a bad hand as he got slashed by his own player, Al McGinnis, on the bench. And McGinnis, after the slash, so distraught by it, he could not come back to play. Ruchin trying to kick that one in with a minute left to go. Loose at center again. Come on, guys. So Hull 2-2, Turgeon 2-2 here in tonight's game. Jamie McLennan made some early saves that were important for the St. Louis Blues in net. He's going to get another win and will continue to play while Grant Fuhr's out for a month or so. McLennan's going to be the #1 goaltender for the St. Louis Blues. And in these 2 starts he's had this weekend has accredited himself very well. 33 seconds left to go. Sports Center coming up. As soon as we have completed our National Hockey Night broadcast, we'll see highlights coming up from the Nets and Heat rematch and the NCAA playoffs not far away. All coming along with Sergei Fedorov in our Sunday conversation as he has returned, of course, to the NHL.
Another back-to-back win for the Blues. These guys now have put an 8-point distance between themselves and the closest team to them right now, the LA Kings. And that would mean home ice, at least for now, for the St. Louis Blues. We'll see how the injuries stack up after tonight. Blair Atchingham left the game. Darren Turcotte left the game. Al McInnes, we think, will be able to resume play rather quickly, but he was just rendered physically incapable of continuing after he damaged his own teammate's hand.
And you'll be seeing that replay a few hundred times around here for the rest of the National Hockey League season. I'm sure the last thing Al McInnes wants to see. Ted Drury dumps it off on the far side. And the St. Louis Blues have beaten the Mighty Ducks by a score of 6-2. Turgeon's second game-winning goal of the season. McLennan a career high now with his 9th win of the season. Conroy 2 assists. Turgeon 2-2. Hull 2-2. And the Blues the victory. For Brian England, Bill Clement, I'm Gary Thorne. Thanks for joining us here on National Hockey Night. Don't forget, we've got a month of Sundays coming up for you of NHL action on National Hockey Night broadcast. This the first here in the month of March. Linda Cohn standing by. Linda.